Welcome to J is for Justice podcast. If live breaking news and following true crime is your thing, then please consider subscribing to my channel. And if you like what you see in my videos, please consider giving them a thumbs up. Good afternoon, everyone. Happy Saturday to you. Look at Penny Farthing coming in hot with 5 memberships right off the bat. We got Hot Damn, Ostrich, 9mm, Criminal Med, and Jada. Welcome in. Thank you again, Penny. Thank you for your support today. And we also had another member join, Westy Mom, West Virginia. Welcome to the Clicker Crew. And Tara Lee, thank you for being a clicker for 2 months. Best coverage on these streets. Spread the word. Lazy Deb, thanks for becoming a member today. Hey, Lacey. Hey, Pretty Hate. Hey, Buzz. I know we have different names over here. We're on the @ names. You got one, Jada. Congratulations. I hope you guys are having a good Saturday. We're convening for Michael Monkey Vaughan, which is a very, very sad case we've followed for years here on J is for Justice and a lot of places on these streets. I want to give a special shout out to PNW Missing. Sam over there has been given fabulous updates. She is wonderful to the Vaughan family. She is an amazing advocate. If the mods could get her link, if you guys are not subscribed, she really is. She's getting the updates. She's going over each suspect. Last night, she did a thing on Adrian. Hey, Ashley. I almost said A. Higgins. You're listening while watching LSU. Is it a football day? Lazy Dab. I love that name. Lazy Dab. Listening from South Carolina. Hello, Chris. Hello, Karen. Bitter sour tart. So yeah, I wanted to give a shout out to her because I think she's done an amazing job on this case and an amazing job with the family. And we're going to begin today's stream with a video that Brandi put out, Michael's mom, about 9 months ago. And I want you to hear what her message was 9 months ago. She has been an amazing force. Like this woman, if she could move mountains, she'd be moving them. 57 months. Wow. Thank you, Megan, for your support. She said, bring Monkey home. I hope they find him. I really do. It's PNW Missing. Oh, there. Kel's got it. Thank you. Hello, Shell. Be careful driving in the storm, Bendeo. 57 months. That's wild. Thank you so much, Megan. But this is a message from Brandi Vaughan. This is from January of this year.
Hi, everybody. I'm here today.
Ooh, she's very low. Hold on. I'm telling you, if Brandi could move mountains to find her son, she would be able to do it.
It is Friday, January 24th, 2025. Michael Joseph Vaughan was abducted on July 27th of 2021. It has been 1,277 days since Michael has not been home. The police department, the FBI, many other agencies have diligently, tirelessly worked effortlessly to help find Michael and bring him home and get justice for Michael. There have been 4 named suspects in Michael's case. Stacy Wandra, Sarah Wandra, Brandon Shirtliff, and Adrian Lucian. I went and spoke with the prosecuting attorney, Mike Duke's office this afternoon. I saw the complaint file documents for the charges for those 4 suspects that will be brought to them. As hard as they were all to see them in words, but tears on those papers. Justice is coming. As those papers are drawn, Fruitland Police Department are continuously and still working on leads and suspects.
So is that a joint?
That are...
Or is it a cigar?
To law enforcement, as well as other persons of interest in Michael's case. They're doing a tremendous job, all of them, and they're working together. We stand with them. It was amazing to see, and as heartbreaking it is to see. Nobody's giving up. And those charges, they are coming. I saw them in black and white. Thank you, everybody that continues to support the law enforcement and our justice system, our Piatt County justice system. They're going to get justice for Michael. So, Sarah, Stacy, Brandon, Adrian, charges are coming. We know what you did. Tell us where Michael is. Because no matter what, justice will come. And we will find Michael. Monkey's Army will never give up. Thank you, everyone, again for your support. Continue and pray for answers. And please continue to support our law enforcement and the prosecuting attorney who will be trying these suspects in the abduction of our son, Michael Joseph Vaughan. Monkey, baby, I promised. We keep fighting every day. Pinky promise, my love. Be kind, everyone. I'll be in touch.
Tough to hear, isn't it? But she is fighting, and she's continued fighting, and now we are where we are today with charges for Stacy and Sarah Wondra. And that's what we're going to get into today, guys, is we're going to read through these probable cause affidavits of Stacy and Sarah Wondra. Everybody coming in, thank you for being here. Hit the like button if you will, and consider subscribing if you are not a subscriber of mine. We're going to be walking through these. We're going to be stopping, and then we're going to watch some of the TikTok videos from the suspects in the days after Michael disappeared. Hey, Pines. Hey, Shell. Hey, Proud Fur Mom. Hey, Potato. Good to see you guys. I wish they would just tell her where he is. All right, so there are some very, very horrific details in these documents. Nothing about this is pretty. If you need to take a break while we're going through this, please do. Take a break for your own mental health, your own sakes. Hey, Ark, good to see you. Hey, Nicole, my scratcher queen. Karen Martin is having an issue with buffering. I don't know. Everything seems fine. All right, let's get into this. This is compliments of True Crime with Eve. True Crime with Eve got these documents. And this was filed back in June. Actually, we're going to go over Stacy's first. Okay, so Stacy and Sarah are husband and wife. They both were living in Fruitland with Adrian and Brandon living with them. Let me show you guys a map really quick of the neighborhood where Michael went missing from. And let's get into it. So this is the state of Idaho versus Stacey James Wandra. Probable cause affidavit. So I, Detective Juanita Kelleher, the undersigned, being first duly sworn on oath, deposes and says, I'm a peace officer employed by Fruitland PD. Number 2, the defendant is alleged to have committed the following crimes between the dates of approximately July 27th, 2021 through 2025. The first charge for Stacey Wandra is first-degree murder. The second charge is kidnapping, second degree. And the third is destruction or concealment of evidence. And if you followed this case, you know that these people had burner phones. They were discarding of furniture from their home and things like that. 3, the crimes were not committed in my presence. And 4, I believe there is probable cause to believe the defendant committed such crimes because of the following facts. On July 27th, 2021, neighbors reported seeing 5-year-old Michael Vaughan between approximately 8:15 and 18:30 hours in the area of Michael's home. So that would be what, 5:15 to 5:30? Hi, Chris. Or 6:15 to 6:30. In the area of Michael's home and nearby residences on Blank and South Arizona in Fruitland, Payette County, Idaho. So, okay, thank you, Potato. 6:15 and 6:30. So they've narrowed this down to this 15-minute time frame of 6:15 to 6:30. And we're also going to have what looks to be Brandon Shirtliff on surveillance camera walking through this neighborhood at the same time. Monkey knocked on some of his neighbors' doors, attempting to play with neighbors or in their yards. Michael was told to return home by all of the neighbors he contacted. At approximately 6:45 to 6:50, Tyler Vaughan noticed his 5-year-old son Michael was missing from their home. Tyler began searching his home and property for Michael. Tyler called 911 to report his son missing at approximately 7:21, and the Fruitland Police Department responded to the area. So Tyler Vaughan was changing their baby's diaper while Michael went out, knocked on some neighbors' doors, and was looking for someone to play with. He noticed about 15, 20 minutes later that Michael wasn't in the house anymore. Happened very fast. So he searches around frantically. And I remember Brandi stating in an interview with Chris McDonough, I think it was, that when she got the call at work, Brandi was at work when little Michael went missing. When she got the call at work and heard Tyler screaming for Michael, she knew that something bad had happened. She said she's never heard him scream like that before. So by the time that he called 911, they already had Michael. They already had him. It's crazy. Within an hour, because they say 6:15, and then at about 7:21, he called. Fruitland Police Department and the FBI, along with other local agencies and volunteers, searched for Michael over several weeks and now years. Through interviews, searches, and other corroborating evidence, all of Michael's family and household members have been determined to not have any knowledge of Michael's current location, nor were they involved in Michael's disappearance? Now you have two parents who have been cleared by law enforcement, and you look at their behavior compared to some other missing kids' parents that we've seen. Screaming outside the police department, screaming that they're not doing anything, screaming that they don't care, or just straight up not dealing with law enforcement. Brandi has always said, we believe in law enforcement. We believe they will find Michael. She has always, always stood by law enforcement. Chris, and it says a lot, doesn't it? They haven't been cleared. And quite frankly, if you go back to the Sebastian Rogers case, not to change the subject, but Vinnie Politan did his corny podcast with his two guys. And it kind of changed my mind on the case a little bit. Kind of got a different way of thinking due to their discussion. If you haven't heard that, check it out and we can discuss. I think it'd be interesting to go over. All of Michael's neighbors on Southwest 9th Street in Arizona have also been thoroughly investigated, searched, and interviewed, and have been determined by law enforcement to not have any knowledge or involvement in Michael's disappearance. The surrounding area was searched extensively, and Michael has never been found. Live Scent Canine teams searched the surrounding neighborhoods August 2nd to 3rd of 2021, using a pair of Michael's shoes for Michael's scent. Out of approximately 300 homes, canine handlers reported the dogs only showed interest in one house. This is the home of Stacy and Sarah Wandra. A canine handler also reported that canine Banshee showed interest in the area of the corner of Meadowlark and Red Wing Street. The canine showed interest at the intersection, then headed straight to the fence and the front door of the Wandra's residence. Yes, the Vinny from yesterday. Hey, Body. Welcome in. So we have these canine dogs in the neighborhood. There's about 300 homes straight to their door. On August 2nd, 2021, Canine Banshee tracked scent down to a tree over the edge of the bluff of Southwest 8th and Three Rivers Way. Canine Banshee was determined to track the scent into the thorny bushes under the tree, despite the thorns. A discarded child stroller was located deep in those thorny bushes. Now let me pull up this map again. Southwest 8th. So here's Southwest 8th. There's Michael's house. Okay, I just wanted to get a visual here. On August 5th, 2021, a pink Big Flyer tricycle was located behind the Bluff sign at Three Rivers Way and Southwest 8th Street. During a search of the same area the day prior, the tricycle wasn't there. So there's two items here. There's a stroller and there's a tricycle now in these thorny bushes. When they searched on the 2nd, the tricycle wasn't there. But when they searched on the 5th, the tricycle was there. Jim Smith, who lives in the Three Rivers subdivision, later reported that he had found the tricycle over the bluff under a tree next to a child's stroller. Jim said he took it home to use one of the wheels for another project, but then discarded it after not removing the wheel as planned. Jim said he left it behind the Bluff sign for the neighborhood kids to use. So this Jim guy in the neighborhood found the tricycle, took it to his house, was going to use a wheel, decided not to use the wheel for whatever reason, and then put the bike back by the Bluff sign
Is that a joint?
so the kids could play with it.
Or is it a cigar?
Are you guys following that? Beautiful sunflower, welcome to the Clicker Crew. Thank you for joining today. Thank you so much. Kim Elko would later report to law enforcement that she had seen the tricycle in the Wandra's garage during a yard sale in the spring of 2021. Now, Michael went missing July 27th, I believe, 2021. But this Kim Elko says, it was in their garage in the springtime. Elko was able to describe the layout of the Wandra's garage and where she saw the tricycle on a stack of boxes. The described stack of boxes was still there during a later search warrant of the Wandra residence and garage. Dorothy Starkey, who was present at blank in Fruitland, reported on July 29th, 2021, that she saw Michael riding a big wheel. That's how she described it, a big wheel tricycle at the corner of Red Wing and Meadowlark Avenue on July 27th, as she was either entering or leaving the area. Dorothy is seen on surveillance coming into the neighborhood, westbound on Southwest 8th at 6:25, and she left the neighborhood eastbound on Southwest 8th at 1925, 7:25. I'm not good with this. 6:25. Okay, so she was coming into the neighborhood at 6:25. Let's go back up here. When did Tyler notice him missing? Okay, so 6:25. So approximately between 6:15 and 6:30, he was knocking on doors. She saw him at 6:25. Dorothy Starkey. Other than Dorothy's report, there are no other reports of Michael being seen anywhere other than Southwest 9th Street and his next door neighbor's house on Arizona on the date of his disappearance. Wow. So within 5 minutes or so of Dorothy seeing Michael at Red Wing and Meadowlark, which the Wandras lived on Red Wing Street. So he was right on the corner of their street and Meadowlark at 6:25 on this bike. The question is, where did Michael get the bike? Where did Michael get the bike? That's what I don't understand. Oh, good luck, body. I hate putting those things together. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know who defends these people, but I don't know if Eve defends them, but I can't see defending these people. Video surveillance was gathered from security cameras in the neighborhood Michael disappeared from, as well as the neighboring areas. Michael is never seen on any of the surveillance footage that was obtained. Stacy Wandra is captured on surveillance footage driving a white Lexus and pulling into the parking area of the splash pad in the neighborhood off Southwest 8th Street at 1523, which would be 523 on July 27th, 2021. But if the tricycle was in their garage, how did Michael get it? What did they say? Oh, here, kid, go for a ride? Or did he go in there and grab it off a bunch of boxes? I'm I'm confused on that because that Kim lady says here that the tricycle was on a stack of boxes. How would Michael get it? Do you think they lured him and gave him the tricycle and let him start riding it and then followed him? 1523. Do I have that wrong? 323. You're right. I'm getting confused with the military time. Sorry. If they had seen him out unsupervised before, maybe he was a target and they were waiting for the right time. Does she, Jamie? Nicole, math is not my strong suit. Mesera. I wonder if they moved it to the road to lure him. Okay, so we got Stacy coming in at 3:23. Stacy is seen exiting the driver's door, walking around to the passenger side, and appears to be testing the exterior door handle to see if it's locked. Stacy then walked back around the driver's side of the vehicle, where he got into the driver's seat and exited the area onto Southwest 8th at 3:24, 1 minute after arriving. Lisa, he has not been found yet. Video surveillance shows an adult male walking in the area of Three Rivers Way at 18:08. 6:08 on July 27th. That's the video where they show the guy walking, and I think they think it's Brandon. Nicole, I'll try to retrain my brain on that one. I just used it. Took me a second to calculate it in my brain, but I did it. No, I don't think they're Mormon. The same male is captured walking in the area of the splash pad at 6:18. The last image of the male is at 6:28 as he walked through the wooded area to the west, back towards the area in which the Wondras lived. So we have Miss Dorothy Starkey seeing Michael on the tricycle at 6:25. We have the image that looks like Brandon shirtless at 6:28, walking back to the Wondras. Brandon Shirtliff was identified in 2022 as being this person and told detectives during an interview that the surveillance video captured him as he was walking and searching for a missing child on the date that Michael disappeared. But guess what? Tyler hadn't called 911 yet. But Brandon says he's walking around looking for a missing kid. Tyler didn't even realize he was missing. Oh, boy. The video captured Brandon walking prior to Michael being reported missing. Brandon reported he was living with the Wondras on that date. On August 1st, 2021, Fruitland police contacted the residents at blank Fruitland. On their initial search of the residence, this is at the Wondras house, they located Adrian Lucien hiding in a closet. Now, Adrian is the fourth suspect. He has warrants out for his arrest. He is not in custody. Brandon Shirtliff is in custody, held on a probation violation charge. Stacy and Sarah Wandra are being charged with Michael's kidnapping and murder. So we really need this Adrian to contact law enforcement and tell them what he knows. So Adrian, who I've heard is 6'4". Tyler was walking around looking for Michael and telling people he was missing before he called police. Right. But this says that he walked back at 6:28. Tyler didn't realize Michael was missing until 6:45 to 6:50. So it's a tight time frame. But hiding in a closet, 6'4". Hey, True Crime Kate. Hiding in a closet. Residents of the home on that date and on July 27th, 2021, were identified as married couple Stacy and Sarah Wandra and their sublets, Brandon Shirtliff and Adrian Lucian. All four of them were interviewed on August 1st, 2021. 4 days after Michael went missing. Adrian was vague in his statements and wouldn't commit to a solid statement. He also refused to provide a social security number for ID confirmation. He provided Stacy's phone number as his own and concealed his real phone number from law enforcement. On August 21st, Sarah reported that on July 27th, 2021, she and Stacy slept till noon. Sarah said they left their residence around 4 o'clock to tow a vehicle to Cuna. Sarah and Stacy denied that they were home at 6:30 on July 27th, 2021. It is a bit confusing with their statements because they're all liars, right? Cell phone tower data and surveillance footage show Stacy, Sarah, Adrian, and Brandon were in the area of their neighborhood at the time of Michael's disappearance. So again, liars. They're liars. They're criminals and they're liars. Sarah, Adrian, and Brandon returned to Fruitland, verified by surveillance, in Sarah's blue Toyota Corolla at 17:08 hours, which is 5:08, only to leave again at 17:12, which is 5:12, right? Then the Toyota came back in the neighborhood at 17:56. 5:56. So they come back in at 5:56. Michael goes missing somewhere between 6:15 and 6:30. Tyler realizes around 6:45, screams out, everybody's looking for Michael, until about 7:21. They call 911 because they can't find him. Surveillance footage shows Sarah driving the maroon GMC on July 27th, 2021, as she drove out of the neighborhood at 19:08 hours. So at 7:08, she's driving the maroon GMC pickup out of the area. Stacy has been identified as the front passenger, and Brandon was the driver's side rear passenger. Sarah, Stacy, and Brandon's phone data showed that they were co-located as they left the neighborhood at 7:08 to drive to Cuna, Idaho. However, Adrian's phone did not provide any location data during the evening of July 27th, 2021. However, Adrian, this is going to creep you out, took a selfie in the guest bathroom at the Wandra residence at 7:26 p.m. Right. Adrian stays back alone, and the three of them leave the area in the maroon GMC pickup, allegedly with Michael. And this dude is taking a selfie, Koberger style. Sleuthy, I would love to know, what is your theory on these 4 suspects and what they did? You know what I mean? Like what their role was, because I have so many twisted, weird thoughts about who did what and what they're still hiding. And ugh. Hey, True Crime with Eve, thanks for sharing these docs with everybody. Okay, so now we're getting into some of the behaviors after Michael went missing. Following Michael's disappearance, Sarah had a distinct change in behavior. Following Michael's disappearance, Sarah began to stand along the highway near Love's gas station in Ontario, Oregon, with signs stating to, quote, repent your sins and that the end of time was near, end quote. Sarah's social media posts on TikTok and Facebook also changed drastically to religion and asking for forgiveness of her sins. Prior to Michael's abduction, Sarah had posted only approximately 11 videos on TikTok in a 3-year time span. She only posted 11 videos prior to Michael going missing. Following Michael's abduction, she posted approximately 329 videos from September 15th, 2021 through December 24th, 2021. In TikTok videos Sarah posted, Sarah made testimony statements regarding her involvement in criminal behaviors and stated that she had broken all 10 of the 10 commandments. It should be noted that thou shalt not kill is one of the 10 commandments. Sarah also alleged in her videos that it did not matter what sins she had committed because God had forgiven her for all of them. Michael's missing person flyer can be seen on her refrigerator in the background in some of her videos. And that's what we're going to do right now. Someone just asked for pictures. I've got some of the videos that I wanted to show you guys of her behavior. So let's go here for a moment. And we're going to watch a few of these TikToks. This one here is from, oh, that's October. Let's see. 10/9. 4/1. Okay, so this is 2 days after Michael was abducted. This is Stacy and Sarah.
Babe, what did you say?
I feel exfoliated.
Exfoliating is exfoliating your skin.
Oh, well, I feel infoliated then.
There's no such thing as infoliated.
There is now, because I just made that shit up.
2 days. Oh, Pines, this did happen in Idaho. What's troubling me is after 4 years and these people allegedly confessing, Ellie went to multiple places and dug up an entire backyard and couldn't find a thing to corroborate Michael's body being there. Finding out all of the trafficking, I don't know which, like the mentions of trafficking and Adrian's history. Do you think that it's possible that they didn't kill Michael? I mean, I know what their story says. I know what the dogs say. I know they say they buried him in the yard and all of that. Is there a possibility? I just don't understand. And have they done this before? I know they're absolutely disgusting, Mama Bear.
Babe, what did you say?
I feel exfoliated.
Exfoliating is exfoliating your skin.
Oh, well, I feel infoliated then.
There's no such thing as infoliated.
There is now because I just made that shit up.
Hey, Carly. Right. It says they were going to sell him for $10K, but then they suddenly killed him immediately, basically by accident. And True Crime Kate says, I think they accidentally killed him. And Mesera says, I think he died because of how they transported him. Yeah, the taxi business has always... I mean, I would have to think it was an accident if they were planning on selling him. Okay, this one is going to be from October 9th of 2021. Here we go. This is Sarah. Because they have those pedos living next door and stuff. I just don't know what to think. You think the neighbors are involved, Eve? I feel like this is like some kind of ring. And like Adrian is like one of the lower guys. Because like how did they even meet Adrian? I don't believe for a minute that it was a taxi ride. There's more to this. Oh, let me unmute it.
Thanks, God's really been working on my heart lately.
Hold on.
So I'm sorry, I've been crying because God's really been working on my heart lately. But when I'm sorry, I'm really tired. I literally over the last 6 or 7 days, I think it was 7 days. Yeah, Saturday to Friday, drove like 3,500 or more miles.
Okay, now this is sus, right? She drove 3,500 miles. Why?
Myself. I mean, we stopped obviously a few times to sleep, but a few times in a hotel and quite a bit of times on the road. But I don't know if you ever slept in a car. It's not very comfortable. You can't stretch out or anything. But anyway, that's not why I got on here. I got on here to tell you that tomorrow, Lord willing, you should always say that because really God could come rapture us at any time, or we could die in our sleep, or we're never guaranteed tomorrow. But Lord willing, if I am still here tomorrow, I would like to speak to you guys about some things on live. I'm gonna do a live. I'm not sure what time. I'd like to tell you a time so you knew, but I guess, I mean, everybody's in a different time zone, but I am gonna be doing a live hopefully tomorrow. I say hopefully because of what I just said, but also because I'm really tired and I need some prayer, please, because I need prayer that the enemy doesn't distract me, that I stay walking in the Spirit. We gotta take our cross up daily, man. That's what he means. Like, you gotta choose to live every day for Jesus. Because you can wake up in the morning and do what you were doing like 2 years ago and not even think anything of it. Watch a TV show, or, you know, just completely distracted. It happens so fast. Like today. Yesterday I was walking the Spirit, well, it's 12 now, but okay, well, for instance, because it's 12, 2 days ago I was walking the Spirit all day. And like, I gotta tell you, some crazy stuff was happening. I gotta talk to a lot of people because of it. But then like yesterday I was so tired. I mean, I was doing my best to do that, but I'm pretty sure it wasn't like all day. So you gotta take your cross up every day and walk in the Spirit every.
She's losing it. Now here's a video of their backyard. We're gonna let this one play as well.
So this is April 13th, 2022. Me and my husband's anniversary. April 13th.
Now you see the ground here. Here, let me show you. I hate these vertical videos. You can never get a good thing, but If you think about this, it was the summer of 2021 when Michael went missing. And then I heard something about them putting a grill over an area where the dog wouldn't stop digging. I don't see any holes. I see dead grass around here. I don't know if this grill like worked. I don't know.
13th. Do you see what that is? That is snow. Snow freaking way. So this is April 13th, 2022. Me and my husband's anniversary, April 13th. Do you see what that is?
What I don't understand is why you would bury someone right here in your own yard. Like, I know they're stupid as fuck, but they moved this other grill over on top of an area where they said the dog was digging. It kind of is, Shell. Kind of is, huh? Okay, here's another one. This is from October 9th, 2021.
So, I wanted to talk to you about some of the sins that God has saved me from, because I make videos with authority, not from myself, but that every believer who is a disciple of the Lord has when they're speaking truth through only the Word of God. So what I mean is by that is, if you're taking something out of context, as a believer, I am to, and mind you, I'm not a teacher of anything, but if you're taking something out of context as a believer to another believer, I am to, in love.
What am I hearing in the background? Do you guys hear that in the background? It sounds like a kid. What's up, Lips?
To you about that in love. So I do that a lot.
What is that noise?
So I do that a lot. But about that in love. So
Oh, it's a cat? Okay. That makes sense. Jesus. I'm like, what is that noise?
I do that a lot. But I want to put out there that I have been saved from a lot of sin. The reason why I trust in God so much is because I have so much to be saved from. For instance, I've committed robbery. Oregon, you want to look that up? I've lied. I've cheated. I've hated my sister for a while. A long time I hated my sister, but God's helped me overcome that. I hated my brother for molesting me for a long time, and He's helped me overcome that. And
oh my God. Ugh. Her brother molested her. I know, I was too, Lips. I really was. They found nothing that we know of. So there could be a lot more evidence. Now, you got to remember, the probable cause that we're reading is just the bare minimum to get an arrest. Hey, Brittany, what's up? Right, the piece of the dog toy. Yeah, we'll get to that. But I think that was from their house. I don't know. We'll get to that part.
I've hurt people. I've cheated on them. I've been divorced and remarried. So I'm an adulteress. Then again, I don't know.
Pines, yes. Drugs, for sure. Yeah, this is like a confession. She is so creepy. Why would you record this unless you had a guilty conscience or attention seeking? It's so odd. And I think we have to remember too that She only made like 11 videos in 3 years. And then all of a sudden she's like, making videos of confessionals. Not sure they found anything, but they did say multiple decomp dogs hitting the same spot in the backyard. The same spot Stacy said he was buried. Now, I hate talking about these details, but I asked about the dirt. But if he was in a duffel bag, like they said, there may not be, you'd still think there'd be evidence in the dirt. You would still think there would be evidence in the dirt.
If he cheated me or not, but that's not the point. I mean, I've committed so much sin that I know I hung Jesus on the cross with my sin, which that makes me a murderer because I killed the Lord God on a tree. And he still is willing to save me and work through me. I'm just grateful that I even get to even think about going to heaven. And he saved me from myself.
That's
truly
true. That's true. There could be more. You're right. Here's another one. All right, I'm not playing that music. Okay, here's one from 4/1 of 2022. Oh, she's not having a good day in this one. She's not having a good day at all. Hold on. Let me rewind here.
Sorry. It just hit me so hard. I don't deserve half the stuff I've been given. Not even anything, really. God just keeps blessing me and I don't deserve it. I can't pay it back. I owe everything to him.
Yeah. All right, let's get back to the documents. To me, that says guilty as hell. Good to see you, breast cancer. Hey, Lana. I don't blame you, girl. This is hard to listen to. Good to see you, though. Thanks for popping in. Okay, let's get back to these. It is really weird to look back on this. Okay. Sarah was interviewed again by law enforcement on November 15th of 2021. So this is after the October videos we just watched. Stacy was also interviewed after being confronted with the photo of her leaving the neighborhood on July 27th, 2021, driving the GMC pickup at 7:08. Sarah changed her story and said she was driving the GMC to get Brandon's Mercedes-Benz from Cuna to tow it back to Fruitland. So here we have another story. Sarah said the trip to Cuna to get the car had not been previously planned, and that it was Stacy who wanted to go get that car at the time and date. Sarah said she stopped at Southwest 8th in South Arizona, out of on the way out of the neighborhood to input the address into the GPS. Okay, so Eve is throwing in some details here. She said, I did listen to Sarah's competency hearing in 2023. They diagnosed her schizophrenic. And then she said that she was in that area with her church group, that she's seen a photo of it. Hey, S. Francisco. Sarah said she then drove to 2518 North Snowbell in Cuna, which is Brandon's mother's home. It is worth noting, Brandon was in the truck with them when they entered the GPS coordinates to go to his mother's house, and that Sarah and Brandon's cell phone showed them at the residence earlier that day. I think it has also come out that Sarah was sleeping with Adrian, Brandon, and her husband. This is some weird ass shit going on in this residence. Sarah said Brandon's mother, Tina Morale, was out of town. Hello, Mr. Cole. Good to see you, my favorite viewer. Sarah said Tina did not allow Brandon to have people in her home when she wasn't there. So Sarah and Stacy parked down the road. And Brandon used a back gate on the south side to enter Tina's residence so that her doorbell camera did not capture him there. Hello, Ray Grin. No, I love your interjections. Keep going, Eve. I want to get a full picture here. I want to know what you know. Hey, Flo. Hold on, I need a drink. Hey, Beans. Sarah reported that while towing the car back to Fruitland, the tow strap broke. Stacy and Sarah sold their phones, lost or sold their vehicles. Lost? No, they did not, Sleuthy. Lost or sold their vehicles and got rid of their furniture shortly after Michael went missing. Tow strap. Not the toaster. The tow strap. Oh, repossession. That makes sense. I was like, what? Sarah was asking about changing her phones following Michael's abduction. Sarah provided 2 reasons. Sarah said they sold their phones because she and Stacy were splitting up, and Sarah said they sold their phones because a demon told her to. Sarah was still paying on the phones that she sold. Sarah was asked about her Facebook post and provided the following responses. Quote, I literally had like a demon tell me that I need to leave my husband. End quote. Here's another quote. I literally deleted all of my pictures. I have no idea of what my passwords are. We had a fight. My husband and I had to sell our phones, and we had to get new phones, and I can't access any of my stuff. So I do have Facebook, just don't have access to it right now. End quote. When asked about the vehicles Sarah and Stacy have, Sarah said the GMC pickup was repossessed. Sarah said she told Stacy when they heard the repo guys were coming to take the truck, quote, we are going to be the nicest repo they ever had today. End quote. Law enforcement was later told that the truck appeared to have been thoroughly cleaned prior to the repo. Hey, Mike. Salute. Following the interview on November 15th, 2021, Brandon reported Stacy and Sarah contacted him and told him they were re-interviewed about Michael's abduction. Brandon said Stacy suggested Brandon come over to their place and create an alibi or write a letter on behalf of Sarah and Stacy saying they were not involved in Michael's abduction. Create an alibi or write a letter. Tina Morrell, Brandon's mother, was interviewed by law enforcement. Tina reported Brandon's behavior changed after he lived with the Wondras. Tina explained that Brandon became more depressed and withdrawn, spending more time playing video games and smoking marijuana. Tina would not tell law enforcement where Brandon was or what his phone number was at that time. Nice. Tina Morrell, lock her up. That should be interfering with an investigation. Don't you guys think? Now we're going to get into Sarah's mother. Kay Ramsey, Sarah's mother, was interviewed and shown a picture of the tricycle described above. Kay claimed, now this is where it gets really weird. Kay claimed she found the tricycle in some bushes prior to Michael's abduction. The bushes that Kay described are near where Mr. Smith found the tricycle just after Michael's abduction. Yeah, did they? I don't know, Sleuthy. You would think. But she's saying she found it before, and then Mr. Smith found it after. Have a good day, Kraken. Enjoy your time. Kay said that would be the reason her DNA would be on the tricycle. Why would Kay's DNA be on the tricycle? They were lying to Tina, and when she found out, she got upset. But why would her DNA be on this tricycle? Hey, Deep Dark Disturbing. They did search Tina's home, you think? Kay said after all that effort, she left it in the intersection of Three Rivers Way and Southwest 8th Street. Kay was 73 years old in July of 2021, and the bushes were very difficult to get to. Yeah, what the hell does this lady know? The question is, though, was her DNA on the tricycle? And why is she placing her DNA possibly to be on that tricycle? I don't believe this at all. Right. Okay, so it's, again, let's read that again. Kay Ramsey was interviewed and shown a picture of the tricycle. Kay claims she found the tricycle in some bushes prior to Michael's abduction. The bushes that Kay described are where near Mr. Smith found the tricycle after Michael's abduction. And we know that Michael was seen at 6:25 p.m. riding his tricycle, and Dorothy Starkey saw him. So did Kay put the little tricycle out? Are all of these people involved? We heard Mr. Smith say how thorny those bushes were, that he didn't even go back and put it by the bushes. He put it behind the bluff sign. Another question is, why the hell is there a stroller in those thorny bushes? Have they done this before? What's the stroller in there for? I need to know why there's a stroller. Right. Why would they have him riding around the neighborhood so they could, I mean, if they had him right there at the house to give him the bike, why not just snatch him up? I don't understand. The tricycle is very confusing to me. How would Michael get across Southwest 8th and not be seen? Any cameras? Hi, Lindsay Hendricks. Right? She hid a gun for Sarah, so why wouldn't she lie now? Then you got Brandon's mom. Won't give his location or his phone number. And why do they have kid stuff at all? Doesn't make sense to me either. Okay, so she also confirmed, Kay did, to law enforcement that Stacy and Sarah's dog had dug holes in the backyard of the Red Wing residence. Kay reported the dog dug up what she later determined to be the ear of a green stuffed animal. Kay said she threw away the stuffed deer. The Wondras did babysitting. Ooh, that don't sound good at all. Mm-mm. Who in the Sam hell would ever hire those people to babysit? You got to be out of your fucking mind. That's true, Sleuthy. I don't believe that anybody would leave their children with these people. Certainly not, right? I just don't. In this green stuffed animal, like, did Michael have a green? Are we looking for a green stuffed animal? Is he missing a green stuffed animal? I'm trying to understand the significance here. Yeah, I get that, Sunflower. I just can't get down with why they'd let him ride around in the wide open. And at what point did they snatch him? At that point, you know what I mean? How did he go from 6:25 p.m. where Dorothy Starkey sees him riding the tricycle to being gone? Kay Ramsey is alleged to have withheld evidence or information in other criminal investigations involving Sarah in 2022. So she's done more than just conceal a firearm. She's withheld information and or evidence in other criminal investigations in 2022. So there's a lot that Kay has done to cover for her daughter. It's not just a gun thing. See that? She is alleged to have withheld information and or evidence in other criminal investigations involving Sarah in 2022. Then Kay initially concealed a firearm, used it in aggravated assault in which Sarah was later convicted. They don't say what these other criminal investigations are. So when law enforcement met with Sarah on October 12th, 2022, Sarah said God told her he was going to help her find the boy. My suggestion, Lindsay, honestly, I kind of recapped it in the beginning, is to go back and play me on like 3 times because I talk so slow. I think that would be the best way to get caught up because it's a lot of players. It's kind of confusing. Okay, so when law enforcement met with Sarah on October 12th, which we just watched those TikToks, that's the same time frame, Sarah said God told her he was going to help her find the boy. During the interview, at the first mention of Michael, Sarah became emotional and broke down crying in front of the detective. Sarah wrote a testimony that said that if law enforcement read it, they would locate Michael. Sarah suggested God had forgiven Hitler for his sins. What? Sarah suggested God had forgiven Hitler for his sins, that God had redeemed Sarah for her sins. Yeah, I really want to know about this timeline of Brandon walking, because we see him by himself. He's walking by himself back to the Wendras at 6:28, but Michael's riding the tricycle at 6:25. Make it make sense. Why wasn't Michael on camera riding the tricycle? Christy Kutch told detectives that prior to Sarah's arrest, April of 2022, she made a statement about Stacy being involved in the abduction of a 5-year-old boy. Christy said she made personal notes of their conversation. So I don't know who Christy Kutch is, but she's telling officers that Stacy, that Sarah told her that Stacy was involved in the abduction of a 5-year-old boy. In June of 2022, there was a recorded jail call between Sarah and Christy, where Sarah advised Stacy had been arrested. Christy asked if he had been charged with the kidnapping of a 5-year-old boy. Sarah recanted her prior statements, claiming that Christy misunderstood her prior comments. Also mentioned was how Sarah's dog was digging large holes in the backyard. Well, that's true, Sunflower. Why would Brandon say he was searching for a kid when Monkey wasn't even missing yet? I don't know. We do. We need a flow chart. So this must be a friend of Sarah's, this Christy. How reliable is she? You know, and then you got to wonder about these people who like make statements about this kind of, incriminating stuff, because they get these kind of people hang out with these kind of people. So what if, someone's going to be in trouble for something else and they're like, oh, hey, I know something about Sarah Wandra. Like, how can you trust any of these? Who's Christy Kutch? Right, but no one knew he was missing until 6:45. Oh, that's her adopted mom? Okay, this is wild. Okay. Her first adoptive mom. So who's Kay? She's another adopted mom? Christ. Okay. Christy Kutch. Kay adopted her when she was around 7. So that's what I'm not. I guess he was knocking on the neighbors' doors at between 6:15 and 6:30. I don't know. They all told him to go home. And who sees a 5-year-old riding a tricycle alone in the road and just drives past him? I don't think I could do that. I think I'd stop and make sure that, they weren't far away from home or something. 5 is really little. Five is really little, especially running to your door. Like, I wouldn't just say, Michael, go home. Like, I don't know. I don't like any of it. Like, how many RSOs are in this neighborhood? Has anybody ever looked? Right. I would stop and look around and be like, is mom near? Or You don't believe that Dorothy saw him? Why would she lie? Or do you think it was another kid? It is very young. And he was very little. I mean, look at him. He's so little. Maybe it was normal. Right. I mean, how many RSOs? Their neighbor was an RSO, Ossian as well. His mom was at work. Penny asks, wasn't there one neighbor that saw him and took him to his home but didn't take him in? I don't know. Could have been another kid. I think it was another child. She didn't say what color. She just said big wheel. Let's keep in mind it wasn't the first time Michael walked out and no one knew. Right. He could have been a target just for that reason. Only 2 RSOs in that neighborhood and are Wondra's neighbors. Then you got 4 creepazoids living in that house. So 4 right in their house. Oh, a neighbor did return him to his home, but didn't knock on the door and make sure he got in. Yeah. It's a horrible, horrible thing that happened. I think she just said big wheel. She didn't say what color. Right. They look for patterns. And people get comfortable. You know what I mean? You do. And I can't. It's yeah, what is the source of the neighbor walking him back? Right. I understand getting comfortable, you know. It happens. It's really, really sick. It happened fast too. So maybe there was a time of day. If I don't know if Brandy had like a certain schedule, maybe there was a certain time of day where dad was, more sidetracked with the baby. And that was when he managed to slip away. The dad was changing a diaper. Yes. Yeah, he was changing the diaper. So maybe there was, times when the dad had the kids, and that was when he would tend to wander. And maybe they fucking knew that. You got to think predators, they constantly are thinking of how they can get, if they want kids, that's what they think about day in and day out, right? We think about it and then we move on to the next thing. But they are constantly thinking about it. If there's a pattern there, they're going to see it. He woke the baby up to change her diaper. I'm sure they confirmed that he ordered pizza too. They went to a couple different splash pads too. Do we know if Michael went to that splash pad a lot? Like, did he know how to walk there? I know, Evelyn. The pizza was ordered at 6:40. So right after he ordered pizza, he realized that makes sense. I mean, I can see how that could happen. If they started to see Michael around 6:15, going to the doors or running around the neighborhood, he's changing a diaper. He orders the pizza. After he orders the pizza, he looks through the house. He's like, where the fuck is Michael? Right? I mean, I can see that happening. I can literally see how that could happen like that. And it just makes me wonder if these people didn't notice this pattern with Michael possibly. And that's why Adrian came out there. Was Adrian the one that was going to take Michael somewhere? Was that the plan? You know what I'm saying? Like, why the fuck was Adrian there? Why did he come there? Like, he's known to be in Ohio, in Maryland. He's got warrants in Maryland or something in Ohio. Why the fuck was he out there and staying with them? I just feel like there's more to this plan. Why'd everybody? Because I think the plan went awry. And I don't think that the trafficking was going to be able to happen because they accidentally killed him. There is CCTV footage that suggests Brandon and Stacy were maybe hunting for a child earlier in the afternoon. Suspicious behavior where kids likely to be. He traffics drugs. Well, I've seen some of his stuff that Sam showed yesterday, and it looks like he's involved in more than drugs. Thanks, Tobeans. What would they think would happen putting him in a duffel bag in the back of the truck? I gotta tell you, I know this is not something we really want to think about. Hey, Twinkle. But how you think about a 5-year-old, especially a spunky 5-year-old boy, it's going to be pretty hard to get a child in a duffel bag. And how they described it. And we're going to hear that soon. But in a fetal position, how big was this duffel bag? Because I'm picturing duffel bags, and they're not that fucking big. A 5-year-old child is not a baby. So you'd think it would take a lot more than 1 or 2 people to get an awake, alert, fighting, scared child into a duffel bag. It just doesn't make sense. They've never recovered the duffel bag, so how do we know the size? I don't know. It's just maybe I'm just picturing it in a weird ass way, but do we know how much Michael weighed at that age? Oh, a laundry duffel. I mean, we're getting descriptions from these people is what sucks. The TBI looking for Summer Wells advised the searchers to look for something the size of a laptop. She was 4. Oh my God. Oh. Hey Patty, good to see you. All right, let's keep going. Well, look at Sarah Boone. I hate to say it. Look at fucking Sarah Boone. I think they did say that he was struggling. That's why I'm wondering, like, God, I mean, it's horrific to think about. Okay, so let's go back here. We're on November 5th, 2022. At 12:55 a.m., Stacy contacted Fruitland Police and requested an interview at the Washington County Jail. So we're fast forwarding. He's now in county jail. We don't know why, but he's in jail and now he wants to talk. Stacy provided vague details about events surrounding Michael's abduction. Vague. He contacts the police and he's vague. Looking for a deal? Stacy said Sarah's religious beliefs and behavior changes started within a couple of days after Michael's abduction. After Sarah's arrest for an unrelated incident, Stacy spoke of changing phones and or SIM cards to prevent law enforcement to follow or profile him. On November 10th, 2022, Stacy again asked to speak with Fruitland police. Stacy wanted a, quote, deal. I knew it. That's the same offer that was given to Sarah in the Michael Vaughan case. Why are they given offers? Stacy admitted Michael had been in his house the night of Michael's abduction. Stacy admitted the tricycle had been in his garage where Kim Elko had previously described seeing it. Stacy then said that when he first saw Michael, Sarah was carrying Michael into their home. Okay, this is where the details get awful. This is a warning that the details here are awful. Stacy said when he first saw Michael, Sarah was carrying him into their home. Stacy said Michael was put into a duffel bag to transport him out of their house and to Brandon's house in Cuna. Stacy and Sarah was frantic trying to figure out what to do, and Brandon interjected, quote, I have a duffel bag, end quote. Okay, so what happened between the time she carried him into the house and they put him into a duffel bag? They were driving out of the neighborhood a little bit after 7. Michael was seen on the tricycle at 6:25. That is a very small time frame. Stacy described Michael as crying, and to prevent him from moving or making noise, Stacy described how Sarah taped Michael using duct tape. So all by herself, not only did she use duct tape to stop him from making noise, which would be the mouth, but it also says from moving. That explains how they got him in the fucking bag. These sick fuckers, man. To prevent him from moving or making noise, Stacy described how Sarah taped him using duct tape. When asked who put Michael in the bag, Stacy said Brandon grabbed the bag and gave it to Sarah. So, Stacy described Michael was wiggling while trying to get away. As bad as this is, it's going to get worse as more comes out. This is the tip of the iceberg. When asked who put Michael in the bag, Stacy said Brandon grabbed the bag, gave it to Sarah. Sarah picked up Michael as Adrian helped hold both sides of the bag open. As they shoved Michael in the duffel bag, Stacy described Michael was wiggling, trying to get away. Stacy said he could see Michael in the bag with his knees bent up in the fetal position, while describing and demonstrating how Michael was taped and stuffed into a duffel bag in his living room. Stacy had a physical reaction and began violently vomiting. When asked if he was vomiting because of the chewing tobacco he was using, he indicated that he was throwing up because of the stress of talking about Michael. Wasn't Stacy in jail? Why was he using chewing tobacco? Right. There's a huge chunk of this story that we're missing. Hey, Jeep girl. Hey, nope. Why? Right. Why would you abduct a child, bring him home, and within 30 minutes kill him? I mean, Stacy provided two reasons why they stopped in the GMC at the corner of Southwest 8th and South Arizona in Fruitland. One, for Stacy to put power steering fluid into the vehicle, and two, so Brandon could check to see if Michael was still alive, because Michael was bound with duct tape and stuffed into a duffel bag in the bed of the truck. So you put him in the bed of the truck and you stop like a minute away from your house after you leave to see if he's still alive? Stacy said he was able to hear Michael making noises like a, quote, dull scream, end quote. Stacy said they were worried about being seen because they saw a car parked off of South Arizona. Stacy said they drove straight to Brandon's mother's house in Kuna, Idaho, where Brandon grabbed both bags. Okay, so now we have two bags. The duffel containing Michael and a backpack, and went into the house by himself. Stacy said once they arrived in Kuna, Michael was not making any more noises, and none of them had checked on Michael to verify that he was still alive. Stacy said Brandon told him he left Michael in the bag and put him in the spare room inside his mother's house. They then towed Brandon's car back to Fruitland. Stacy said that Sarah, Brandon, and Adrian went to Kuna the next day to get Michael. The three of them brought Michael's body back to their house in Fruitland. He stated that he was inside. Brandon was on guard, and Sarah and Adrian dug the hole together. Stacy reported he did not previously report this information because he thought he would still get into trouble and he was fearful of Sarah hurting him. Hey, Jammers. In an interview, Stacy stated that Michael had a stuffed animal. Quote, some sort of a stuffed animal. I want to say like a dinosaur or a monkey, end quote. And, quote, what I saw was a monkey, was a green, and looked like a green monkey, end quote. In one interview, Stacy advised the lime green monkey was a dog toy, and he and Sarah gave Michael to keep him quiet while he was sitting on the couch in their living room. No. No, 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 no. This doesn't make sense. Like Michael's going to sit there after being taken, scared, squirming, trying to get away, and they give him a fucking dog toy and he's just sitting on the couch. Well, nope, not today. This is just a probable cause. There's more evidence. We just don't know it yet. This isn't all there is. True Crime with Eve says, Kay told me that dog or that toy was a dog toy. Hey, Melissa Hex. I think that we need to go through and do a watch through of all Stacy's interviews in like chronological order. They have not found him, no. So they're saying that this fucking dog toy kept him quiet while he was on the couch in the living room. I'm not buying that. No fucking green dog toy is going to keep a 5-year-old quiet on your couch. You're lying. Additionally, Stacy stated that the idea to take a child and sell for money was Adrian's, and they would get a $10,000 cut. Gran. Could be. No, Stacy did not watch Monkey. They didn't know each other. They may have more, though. Nope, not today. I try to have faith in that. Yeah, Anna, and that part reminds me of Letitia Stout traveling to Florida to discard of Gannon. Horrible. It does to me too, Sin. I mean, this Stacy Wandra is a career criminal. The dude's a loser. You can't believe anything he says, you know? Okay, so additionally, Stacy stated the idea to sell a child was Adrian's. They would get a $10,000 cut. So does that mean per person, overall? Like what does that even mean? Stacy was asked if Sarah, like a $10,000 cut out of what? Stacy was asked if Sarah provided any direction throughout any part of this. Stacy said that Sarah asked him and Brandon to, quote, follow her lead, which was to take the kid. Stacy recalled that most of the conversation at that point was Sarah trying to figure out what they were going to do. Sarah had asked Brandon, quote, where we should put the body, and Brandon was like, well, you guys can take him over to my house and we'll deal with it, and that will buy us some time. Following his interview with law enforcement, Stacy called his mother. So enter in another mother. Right. I just can't follow my lead. Stacy called his mother, Tamara Johnson, from the Washington County Jail on a video visit. Tamara asked Stacy if Michael was alive. Stacy shook his head no and said Sarah accidentally killed him. Tamara asked, how? Stacy said, suffocation, and went on to say they buried him in a duffel bag. Now, this dude knows all these calls are recorded. I'm seeing you guys. You guys don't think that You think there's more people involved? Or, I mean, who do you think did something to him? Do you think he's still alive? I mean, the cadaver dogs were in their yard. Out of 300 homes went to their yard. After his interview and phone call to his mother, Stacy wrote an apology letter to Michael's parents, then attempted to hang himself in his jail cell, but was rescued by Washington County jail staff. And you guys think he's innocent? He wrote an apology letter to Brandi and tried to hang himself? Yeah, I don't think this guy's innocent at all. Innocent people don't do that. I mean, that's some heavy guilt. It should be noted that during some part of Stacy's incarceration at the Washington County Jail, prior to his confession and directions on where to find Michael's body, Sarah was out of custody and living back at the house on Red Wing. As evidenced by her being there when law enforcement arrived to execute the search warrant, Stacy could have had the time and ability to remove any evidence from the property without Stacy's knowledge. So Stacy's saying that Michael was still in the ground last he knew at their house. So they execute this search warrant. In June of 2022, Sarah calls this mother, Kay Ramsey, from jail and spoke about spouses being able to testify against each other. Okay, but a confession is different than writing an apology letter to a mother and then attempting to hang yourself. In my eyes, anyways. A confession, being in an interrogation room and confessing is different than writing an apology letter to the family of the boy who went missing. That was not forced on him as far as I'm reading. He did that out of his own free will. They're lucky he rescued him. So he's saying you can find his body in the yard. In June of 2022, she calls her mom. She's in jail, and she's expressing concern that Sarah was going to turn on Stacy. Or wait, in a recorded phone call from the Washington County Jail to Sarah. Okay, this is confusing as fuck. Sarah calls her mom and talks about spouses being able to testify against each other. Then, in a recorded phone call from the Washington County Jail to Sarah, Stacy expressed concern that Sarah was going to turn on Stacy. I know. I want to know what that letter says as well. It's evidence. And then Stacy then reassured Sarah he'd never testify against her. As a search warrant was executed on their home on November 12th, 2022, Stacy described the exact location as to where to find Michael buried in the backyard of the residence. Exact location. Yeah, the trip to Texas is very sus. He instructed detectives through the video chat. Sarah Wondra, who was located in the residence at the time, was detained. This is the video we saw, yes. As officers read to her the search warrant, Sarah made several strange statements. Wow, that is a lot. I definitely did not kill that boy. The Most High God already told me who did it, so... Oh, wow. The Most High God just told me that Stacy was the one who killed him, and he buried him in the yard of Carson's house. Now, Carson is a neighbor who is a registered sex offender, correct? She also said that the Most High God told her Stacy was the one that killed him, and he buried him. The Most High God just told me that Stacy was the one who did it. He wants me to make sure you understand that I had nothing to do with it. He said that Stacy buried him in the backyard by the shed. It wasn't actually Stacy who harmed the boy. As officers started to search the residence, Sarah asked several times if the officers had, quote, found him yet. They did test the ground, but we don't know the results of that. Idaho State Police and Ada County Sheriff's Office assisted with the execution of the search warrant at the Wondra residence, along with 5 separate certified cadaver canines. 5 cadavers. Prior to officers digging in the backyard of the Wondra residence, cadaver canines were deployed and alerted in the backyard of blank of their house. A total of 5 certified cadaver canines were deployed. Or wait. Yes, and all 5 alerted on the... Okay, wait, hold on. I'm getting confused now. A total of 5 certified cadaver canines were deployed, and all 5 alerted inside the Wondra backyard in the approximate area of where Stacy claimed he witnessed Sarah and Adrian bury Michael. Neither Michael nor any human remains were located during the execution of the search warrant. Prior to excavating the backyard, law enforcement noted there were several areas in the yard that appeared to be filled in with dirt and resodded. Kay and Ed Ramsey reported they had filled in areas of the yard where Sarah and Stacy's dog had dug holes. At various interviews after the disappearance of Michael, Stacy was asked what happened to his and Sarah's cell phones from July of 2021. Stacy said Sarah wanted to, quote, detract attention so we are not on the radar, end quote. And that the reason they sold the phones, and that was the reason they sold the phones. When asked if there was evidence of the crime on these phones, Stacy said there were text messages. Okay, get the records. Investigation revealed that the Wondras changed their phones approximately 3 times in a 5-month period. Stacy described purchasing SIM cards to put in the cell phone to evade law enforcement. The GMC pickup was subsequently repossessed for non-payment. Stacy then called Kim's Cars, wanting the truck back or to borrow it. He also told them to, quote, hurry up and sell it. Okay. Stacy further advised that they sold the Lexus they had at the time Michael was abducted. Within a few weeks of Michael's disappearance, the Wondra's iCloud data revealed Stacy and Sarah searched for rental houses in other states and financial assistance in different areas. Additionally, a photo of items boxed up was taken on July 30th, 2021, as if they were preparing to move. Okay. Were the items boxed up before Michael's disappearance, though? We don't know that. We just know on the 30th, there were boxes. In summation, Stacy confessed that the 4 members of the household, Stacy Wondra, Sarah Wondra, Brandon Shirtliff, and Adrian Lucienne, were all involved in the abduction and killing of Michael Vaughan. Their home is in the neighborhood adjacent to the home where Michael lived and was last seen. The neighbor, Dorothy Starkey, saw Michael riding a tricycle near the Wondra home at the time Michael went missing. That same tricycle was seen in the Wondra garage prior to the abduction. That tricycle was discarded outside of the neighborhood off a bluff after Michael went missing. Kay Ramsey, Sarah Wondra's mother, claimed to have found it and moved it to the entrance of the neighborhood, which is refuted by the fact that another neighbor, unrelated to the case, claims to have found it and placed it there. Kay's story. Did anybody check on this Jim Schmidt story? I mean, I'm sure they did. It's just weird, right? He took the tricycle and then put it back. Like, I don't know. Never took the wheel off. Like, I don't know. I don't understand this whole story. Kay's story also does not account for the fact that the tricycle was in the house before being discarded and before Michael went missing. Live scent track dogs were deployed, and the only house they showed interest in was the Wondra house. That same dog showed interest in the area where Michael went missing from and the area where the tricycle was discarded. Based on the foregoing, Urifiat is requesting that Stacey Wondra be charged with kidnapping and murder in the first degree, as well as the concealment of evidence. Apparently, Jim's story holds up. Okay, so Mr. Tomato Head, that's a great question. The timeline is like this. Between 6 and 6:15, Michael slips out of the house and starts going to neighbors looking for someone to play with. 6:25, Dorothy Starkey sees him on the pink tricycle over by the Wondra's home. Brandon Shirtliff is seen on camera, I think it's 6:27 or something like that, walking in the neighborhood, and he said he was walking around looking for a missing child. So Michael was not missing yet. Dad was still in the house doing whatever, changing the diaper, whatever he was doing in there. He didn't even realize that Michael had slipped out. I mean, I'm sure that could have been another kid, but I mean, she's saying that it was him, and it's in the sworn affidavit. So now, is Stacy, or Sarah rather, is hers the same? It looks the same. Literally like a copy and paste. I wonder if he had little friends in the neighborhood he played with sometimes. That's a good question. So what I'm interested in, and maybe Eve, you can fill in the blanks on this. What I'm wondering is why Sarah was why these charges were dropped the first time. Actually, I think they put Michael missing between 6 and 6:15. Right here. On July 27th, 2021, neighbors reported seeing 5-year-old Michael Vaughan between approximately 6:15. Oh, sorry, at 6:15 and 6:30. I was wrong, not 6 and 6:15. Oh, Pines, that's Brandon Shirtliff that we watched. JLR interviewed him, and he was in the hot tub. I think we need to go through and watch these interviews again. I think it'd be interesting now knowing what we know, because we didn't know a lot of this stuff was being said. Jay, I tagged you in a video in Discord of the brother saying Michael went missing at 5. Well, it's just wild that they prematurely charged her like that and then dropped the charges. But yeah, so 6:15 to 6:30, neighbors reported seeing him. He knocked on some of the doors and attempted to play with neighbors or in their yards. So then at 6:45 to 6:50-ish, that's when Tyler noticed that Michael wasn't there and began searching the neighborhood. And when that didn't come up with Michael at 7:21, they called 911. Detained for 6 months before dropping the charges. That's crazy. It makes me very nervous they dropped and refiled with the same information. Right. Do you think that they have more? Hey, Teresa. Good to see you. Do you think they have more? I know. It's horrible, Judy. The details are horrible. Let me see if I can find something here. Hold on. I mean, where would they get more? I mean more than they had then. Sarah was held on other charges. Then she had to go to a mental hospital. Then she went to prison for an unrelated crime. I don't know. This just screams of some kind of ring or... I don't know. Hold on. I'm going to see. Sam has some shorts of this stuff. So, and last night she did the truth about Adrian, which was so good. You guys are going to want to watch her. I'm going to pull up her channel here. Okay, let's watch some of these shorts. This is Adrian here.
Do you have anything else you want to say before you go?
I wish none of this would have happened. I wish it didn't go down the way it did. And, I'm just
That's Brandon
appalled,
talking.
pretty much. Just, it doesn't make me happy either.
Do you have anything else you want to say before you go?
That's Brandon's voice. Here's another one. This is...
Do you have anything else you want to say before you go?
Why is it playing?
I wish none of this would have happened. I wish it didn't go down the way it did. And, I'm just appalled, pretty much. Just, it doesn't make me happy either.
Do you have anything else you want to say before you go?
I wish none of this would have happened. I wish it didn't go down.
I wish it didn't go down the way it did. I thought she had the surveillance. What's this?
Do you have...
There is some questions in the chat that I'd just like to get out of the way. One of those being, how did you feel when you were approached about being involved in Michael's abduction?
Very confused. Pretty angry, actually.
There is some questions.
I thought she had the picture of the surveillance. Do you guys think that that's Brandon in the surveillance? Because they say it is. Some of you said it looks like Tyler searching, but why would he be all by himself? Like, they had to have confirmed it's Brandon Shurtleff. There's a lot of content out here on Brandon, on all of these people, honestly. But I was looking specifically for that surveillance, but here's a video from JLR. Let's watch this one. This is about Brandon's mom.
Jonathan Lee Bridges Investigates. I am covering the Michael Vaughan case out of Fruitland, Idaho. 6-year-old Michael Vaughan, been missing since July 27th, 2021. Where is Michael Vaughan? I want to talk about Brandon Shurtleff right now. Brandon Shurtleff, he is an associate of Sarah and Stacy Wandra. Sarah Wandra recently arrested by Fruitland police with the charge of failing to report a death to LE in connection with Michael Vaughan. Police want to speak to Brandon Shurtleff right now. He's somewhere in North Dakota. Brandon Shurtleff gave...
Now, this is 2 years ago now. This is a 2-year-old video.
Gave me an interview last...
And the interview, we covered it on my channel. He's in a hot tub. We went over that.
Week, an exclusive interview. You need to go check out that video on my on my YouTube timeline. He tells a lot. He spills the beans and tells a lot, but he is wanted right now. But Brandon's mom, Tina, she's actually defending Brandon. She made a Facebook comment defending Brandon, and I want to share that with you right now.
Oh, she got a face.
So the mother of Brandon Shurtleff made a comment on Facebook.
Oh, here we go. This is his mom. Both Brandon and I have spoken to them. She's talking about law enforcement repeatedly. They have searched my home with their dogs and found nothing. Unfortunately, they are the ones not telling the whole truth. Brandon knows nothing about this missing child, but they are still making these allegations. I think she means allegations. Brandon is speaking to them. He is not running or hiding, because Brandon does not know anything. It's very sad what gossip and lies will do to an individual. This is the same woman who wouldn't give her boys info to law enforcement, according to the PCA.
Tina Muriel. Both Brandon and I have spoken to them repeatedly.
So this is her, and this is Brandon. Tina had enough of being told her...
So the mother of...
Wait, Tina had enough of being told her son's going to get the firing squad if he takes no plea deal.
Brandon Shurtleff is saying that the police are not telling the whole truth. She said dogs have searched her home. Brandon has nothing to hide. What do you think about that? You know, considering that Fruitland police put Brandon's picture up at a press conference the other day.
Yep.
And basically said they want to speak to him.
Yep, they sure did. And that was when Chris McDonough showed up in the background. Now, 2 years ago, here Brandon was charged.
Jonathan Lee Bridges Investigates. I am covering the Michael Vaughan case out of Fruitland, Idaho. Michael Vaughan, he's been missing for about 45 minutes. And talk to me about the Michael Vaughan case. Authorities are looking for him now. They want to speak to him.
Oh, it was clickbait. He was not charged.
I don't know if they want to arrest him, but he is wanted by the Fruitland Police Department in connection with the disappearance of Michael Vaughan, another individual named Adrian from Ohio. He is also wanted by the Fruitland Police. Where is Brandon? But it seems...
So Brandon is in custody on a probation violation. Is that correct? And then you've got, here's missing PNW. There's another interview with Brandon. There's a lot of interviews with Brandon. A lot of people have talked to Stacy. What's this?
They have a crawl space under there in their master bedroom. You walk in their master bedroom, take a right, and there's like this little crawl space right there.
There's going to be a lot more that comes out that we don't know. The shirtless shit show. Yeah, remember when Chris McDonough was at the press conference? But remember also they did put Monkey's face on a truck. Trying to find the press conference. There was a lot of press conferences. I'd like to revisit old footage though. Oh, here's Stacey Wondra, the video we've seen that was released. This is the one where they put it on a truck, remember?
The quarter right here.
So they partnered with like this company, whatever, that puts children on these trucks, you know, that are driving across the country. But if they thought Michael was deceased, why did they go through all of this? You know what I mean? This was August 24th, 2022. When did they supposedly confess? There you are. Hey, Sam. Hey, Jay, second page PCA. It says Brandon told detectives during an interview that the surveillance video captured him. Last paragraph. Thank you. I must have missed that. But do you guys know why? Like, and thanks for coming in. You've seen this, really, Megan? Yeah, I'm doing good. I'm doing good, girl. I was going to chat. I've been watching your coverage. It's been amazing, by the way. The Adrian one last night was really good. You're just doing a really good job. I just didn't want to disrupt your chat, but thank you for all of your hard work and your respect while doing it. All right, I've got to see JLR's glasses, but I am curious why they did this though. If they thought that he was buried somewhere, that's what doesn't make sense to me. Yeah, we do appreciate you a lot. I know it's not easy covering this stuff, and I listened to you before I even read this, and I'm like, I got to see JLR's new glasses, and then we're going to wrap this one up, but we will. Do they have a hearing scheduled or anything like that? He's live right now. Is he on camera? Oh, no, he's not. Yeah, no problem. And thank you, Eve, for getting these documents. Oh, here he is. He does have spectacles. I bet you they're the smart glasses. Look at JLR. He's all Hold on. He's so little down there. Hold on. Yeah, I would have to say he definitely got the smart spectacles. The police chief, J.D. Huff, isn't sitting right with you, Lindsay. Well, we're going to do a walkthrough of these interviews, and Sam, with your permission, you have so much information that if I have to pull up a stream or two of yours, I hope that's okay. Let me know. Colleen, thank you for the sub. They have different meta glasses, though. J.D. Huff felt bad about the cemetery search. What cemetery search? Hey, Jamie. Good to see you. I think Fruitland did the best they can for such a small town. You're going to post the PCA without watermarks. Okay. Thank you, Sleuthy, for putting that together on X. It was really easy to find. This is creepy, reeking of use of criminal informants. Yeah, I don't like it. Thank you, Sam. I appreciate that. Yep, we'll be sure to credit you and link to you for sure. It's a very, very sad case, but the next we'll start going through some of those streams with Stacy and kind of walk through the stories. And I want to do it while it's fresh in our head with this PCA. Do we have a hearing scheduled or anything? Are we waiting for a date? At Brandon's grandmother's cemetery property, they got some grief for not notifying Lemhi County Sheriff before coming over there, tricking an 80-year-old woman. They thought maybe he was buried there. Well, maybe they were worried he would be moved again. I mean, bless his heart. Bless Brandy's heart. It makes me sad. It makes me so sad. They have to live with this information every day. They haven't extradited him yet? Okay. Thank you for the update. Thank you, Body, for being here. I hope you got your console table put together. Did J.D. Huff not get a warrant for that, or? Yeah, we'll start revisiting some of that stuff. Thank you for being here, guys. Oh, Judy, I know. I heard about that. Pretty hate. If you do any lives on other platforms, will you give us YouTubers a heads up? I'm not getting kick alerts. For sure, Pretty hate. I'll post in my communities. And then the trip to Texas, right? We have Sarah. Who did she go to Texas with? I don't have all that information fresh in my head. But that's sus. Oh, we had to deliver a dog. I mean, they got a lot going on. Taxis, fucking religious stuff, delivering dogs, taking kids. They didn't notify the sheriff that they were acting as customers for cemetery plot and go undercover. Oh, they went undercover. I don't know anything about those protocols. Thank you, Pines, for your generous super chat. As always, thanks for your professionalism and sensitivity bringing info on such difficult cases. Thanks to all those gathering info. Justice for this poor sweet boy and his family. Thank you again. Nope, Judy, you sure can't. They went together, Stacy and Sarah. Hey, user. I just hope that they can get out of them where this boy is. This is a really tough one here. So we've got another. Is this going to be prosecuted in Ada County? Is that what I understood? Miss Evelyn, good to see you. I know you've been here the whole time. I just hadn't had an opportunity to say hi yet. It is important to have the right people behind bars. So the question is this a bigger ring? Put a 1 in chat if you think this is bigger than just these shitheads. Payette County is where it's going to be prosecuted. Yeah, me too. Do you think that they'll move it? Is Payette County small? Hey, Ostrich. Thanks for being here. You think it's a bigger ring? I do too. I'm curious too how chummy they were with this Carson. Did they hang out with this guy? I just don't see it being these 4 masterminds. Yeah. I feel the criminal informants too. And Lindsay, if you want to get into a rabbit hole of Stacey Wondra, there is some weird-ish, like out of Utah, I believe Montana. He's got federal cases that go back. I got in that rabbit hole and wait, the Starkeys drove taxis for them? Oh, hell no. They hung out with over 20 RSOs? Oh my God. Are there any other children that went missing that are unresolved in this area? Right. Why would they be talking about selling a child unless one of them had connections? And I think it's Adrian. Oh my God. I can't remember what the federal cases were for, but he got deals. You could tell the dude was a snitch. You can just tell by the way the federal, you have to go into Pacer. They're like, or you could Google it. Maybe it'll come up. Dorothy Starkey is the one who said she saw Michael at 625. She's the one that said she saw him at 625 on the tricycle. Or on a big wheel, sorry. I don't know. After the whole I didn't know that. After the whole thing in Kentucky with the judge shooting or the sheriff shooting the judge and the whole sex scandal, I don't put anything past these motherfuckers. I don't put anything past any of these authorities to do anything weird. Because if it can happen in that little freaking county in Kentucky, it can happen anywhere. You think those little counties are all down home and like country and, look what was going on. You just never know. Because that's quite shocking, that whole scandal. That shit runs deep too. Yep, Lindsay, you're picking up what I'm laying down. You always do. Jammers. All right, guys, I'm going to wrap this one up, but thank you for being here. Thank you to Sam and Eve for being here. Sleuthy as well. Thank you for your input. Everybody, it was a nice conversation, even though it was a horrible topic. But we did have a nice discussion, and justice for Monkey. I'm just going to end it on that. I'll see you guys in the next one. You guys take care. Enjoy the rest of your evening. I hope you guys have a good Saturday night. Stay out of trouble. Don't be like me. I'm always in trouble. Just kidding. But thank you so much, and thank you for your support today. Hit the thumbs up on your way out, and I'll see you in the next one. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed this live stream or video, make sure to give it a thumbs up and hit that subscribe button so you don't miss out on my latest content. Want to take it a step further?
Bring it all in.
And join our community clickers by becoming a Patreon or a YouTube member. You'll get exclusive access to our Discord server, special channel perks, and much more. Until then, I'll see you in the next one.
Click. It's real easy, man.